Today, we are making an announcement that will have far and wide-reaching effects on our community over the next 18-month period. After careful consideration of the many challenges that we face in producing an event that is known as the original Party of the Year in Bakersfield, we have decided to cancel Village Fest 2020. There are many factors that were considered in this decision, including how we would distance thousands of people and maintain their safety. There are huge economic pressures on our citizens, our sponsors, and our 30-plus restaurants. Combine that fact with the number of new COVID-19 cases that are appearing in Kern County, and it's rising, with much uncertainty that exists about major large events in the future, we made the very painful decision to cancel the event this year. This impact on our community will stretch far wider than simply canceling a 4-hour event held right here at the Kern County Museum. In addition to the loss of income that we use to provide funding for local organizations who serve local youth, the museum will lose out on our rent money and shares. Local vendors like Joe Ronco will lose a major annual order, and they provide so much of our backbone. We also have many other vendors, from the porta potty rentals to the massive amounts of ice that we produce. If I was to get down to brass tacks, even our insurance agent will take a hit on this, as we no longer need event insurance for 2020. The biggest casualties will be the organizations that we provide funding to, such as Optimal Hospice Foundation, the League of Dreams, and the Boys and Girls Club, and many other groups that serve children. I'm going to share information about how CARE was brought up, and maybe get Rick to speak a little bit. But CARE was founded in 1999. It started as a very small beer tasting event on the parking structure of the Bank of America. By the second year, it grew so much in popularity that the event was shut down because people dancing literally caused the building to sway. We knew that we had something big at that time, and we moved here, and the event was retitled Brews in the Village to go with Pioneer Village. As we've evolved, we added restaurants. At various times we added things like a cigar bar, a sports pavilion, and we changed the name to become simply Village Fest. But the purpose of Village Fest is far beyond a 4-hour party. We raise thousands and thousands of dollars at that event, and to date we have donated more than $1.2 million to local organizations that serve kids. So the loss of this event for our community is a significant one. And at this time, I'd like to invite Mike to share information about how this will impact the museum with our cancellation. Mike?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I just want to, on the behalf of the museum, thank the CARE Foundation for their incredible support in the past. And I'm lighting a candle, saying a prayer. We'll come back strong again in 2021. One of the untold kind of quiet victims of the pandemic has been nonprofits, and you'll see that here in our county. People like the Boys and Girls Club, the Boy Scouts, different groups around town have really gotten hammered by this. I know my heart goes out to the private sector, especially restaurants and other entertainment venues, but the nonprofits have really gotten harmed by this. So if you think about this place, our mission is to support historical interpretation and preservation in our county, but we pay for that with events, weddings, corporate celebrations, school tours. All that got canceled in 2020. So again, on behalf of myself and the museum, I want to thank the CARE Foundation. And moving forward, I can't wait for things to return to normal, but this has had a really difficult effect on all of us. And like I said, I'm just prayerfully hopeful things will improve for the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. So you heard the financial impact that it'll have on the museum, but most importantly, the organizations that we serve within our community rely on us for funding. And at this time, I'd like to invite Jessica Matthews to come to the podium. Jessica is the Executive Director of the League of Dreams, and Jessica just received a very large grant from CARE. I'll let Jessica share that with you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jessica Matthews, and I'm the Executive Director for the League of Dreams. For those who don't know, the League of Dreams is an adaptive sports league for children ages 5 to 22 with physical and developmental disabilities, and we serve all of Kern County. Over the years, we've received several grants from the CARE Foundation, including equipment, uniforms, and other items to help support our athletes and give them the full sports aspect, just like any traditional sports league. From basketball hoops to the uniforms on their back to the baseballs that we have out on the fields to now a brand new van that we'll utilize to transport equipment to and from events and programs. CARE has been a big part of the League of Dreams for many years, and we are very sad for them that they have to cancel this event. We are understanding, obviously, but we also hope that things can get back to normal. We can't thank CARE enough. Again, our grant this year was to help purchase a brand new van that will be able to showcase around town with the faces of our athletes, the CARE logo, and the League of Dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize GMC Motor City for that donation that Jessica spoke to. They helped us out with the price and made their own donation to make that possible. Next, I would like to invite Maggie Cushine from Boys and Girls Club, and she's going to share with you what CARE means to them.
Hey, I'm Maggie Cushine. I'm Director of Grants and Program Facilitation, and it's my honor I get to work with Jim and Rick and Sylvia. When I say I've got an idea, what do you guys think? And they're like, well, shoot us the idea, let us talk about it. They came helped us when we were renovating our Armstrong Youth Center. They gave us computers for our teen lab. Then we said, we have this room, we want to make a recording studio, but all I can do is afford is to build the room. He's like, well, we'll give you the recording studio and stuff, and we'll put the soundproofing in. And so our kids are now bebopping away in the recording studio thanks to CARE. I tried to get the country western CD made. It did not go well with the children. We're back to the other stuff. And in 2015, the Boys and Girls Club made a shift, and we said, you know what, we give snacks to our kids after school, and it's whatever we can get, which was cookies and chips, and we knew that wasn't healthy for our kids, and that was the only meal our kids were getting after school. So we went to CARE and said, we have this idea, we want to start a nutrition program and serve healthy meals. Would you guys come alongside and help us? And they said, what do you need? And I said, well, I need something to hold the milk. I need stuff to be able to prep in the kitchen. And so they came and gave us a milk cooler, and we got stuff to prep the kitchen. And then later we said, you know what, our nutrition program is expanding beyond. And so I got this storage room. I think would be really cool to make a commercial kitchen. What do you think? And they said, yeah, great. And they said, what do you need? I said, I need an industrial ice maker, because we're shipping out meals and meals and meals out to other parts of the county in Irvin and Lamont, and I got to keep it cold, and my ice maker is killing me, and I can't rent ice anymore. What do you need? And so we have this industrial, huge ice maker that any restaurant would be jealous of, and CARE's allowed us to currently provide meals during this time. And so we are doing about 2,800 meals a day in Irvin, Lamont, and Bakersfield, and that's because CARE has come alongside us to allow us to provide those meals to kids. So they're getting supper and they're getting breakfast, and they only have to come once a day, and their parents pick it up, and it's just the looks on their faces when they receive those meals. It's priceless, and thank you guys for that. So currently I just got a text on my phone. We have 12 cafeteria tables being delivered thanks to CARE, so our kids can socially distance while eating meals at the club and be able to do their activities at a safe distance and make it easier for us to clean during this time. So I want to thank you for that, and it's been great watching our relationship evolve, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So obviously, we give a lot to the Boys and Girls Club, and this is very important to our board because the Boys and Girls Club serves thousands of local kids. So, you know, we're obviously concerned about the impact that this might have. The next person I'd like to introduce is Cherie Shoemake with Optimal Hospice Foundation. They have a specialized camp, and I'm going to tell you, as the president of CARE, it's my favorite event to attend on behalf of our board every year. And I will have Cherie tell you about that camp and what CARE does for the camp.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cherie Shoemake. I'm the director of the Optimal Hospice Foundation. I'd first like to thank CARE for inviting me here today to be a part of this press conference. I am so sorry to hear about the event. I know how hard it is, as we too have had to cancel several of our programs and events and become very creative in ways to continue to fulfill our mission in our community. For over 10 years, CARE has supported our annual Kids Camps. Kids Camp is a program, it is our signature program that we provide here in our community for children who have experienced the death of a loved one. We bring children out for 2.5 days and we show them that it's okay to just be a kid and that their grief does not define them. That they can be a kid and they can have fun and they can enjoy games with their friends while they're grieving. They don't have to choose. And many of them come out to the camps very somber. They feel guilty about having fun and they feel very isolated. So to bring them with other children who are, as they say, just like them, it is such a great opportunity, and we're very honored to be able to provide that here in our community. CARE has been providing support for our kids' camps for over 10 years. And about 5 years ago, I went to the board and said, listen, our camp currently is for children between the ages of 8 and 16. And it is devastating for me when we have a family who has a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And I have to say to that 6-year-old, I'm sorry that you can't come to camp and your grandma died. You're just not old enough. So we started a one-day camp for kids between the ages of 5 and 9. And that would not have been possible without the additional support that we received from CARE. So it's just one example of the importance of an event like Village Fest and what it does for our community. I'm terribly sorry that this is it's come to this for all of the organizations in our community, and it has been a big hit to all nonprofits in our community. But I also know nonprofits in our community have become extremely creative in the way that we are continuing to provide program, as we just heard from the Boys and Girls Club and the things that they are doing. And I know that we'll continue to work hard. And please continue to support your local organizations, support CARE, because they're going to continue to support us. Thank you.
Thank you, Cherie. And as we wind up, the next person I would like to introduce is an extremely vital person and company to our organization, and that is Ron Holbert with Joe Ronco. Before Ron takes over the mic, I want to say that Joe Ronco has supported not only our organization since our inception, but supports hundreds and hundreds of local charities in their own fundraising event. And the effects of this pandemic have been nothing short of disastrous for Joe Ronco. I want to take a moment to publicly thank Joe Ronco for the support that they've given us and the backbone they've provided to Village Fest since our inception. Ron?
I'm going to put a little different spin on things here. With this announcement, it brings my total to $281,428 in canceled orders. I've had 162 events canceled since March 12th. I receive 1 to 2 more cancellations per week as we move forward. My question is, where's the help from my industry? And when I say my industry, I'm not talking me. I'm talking the special event, wedding, and live entertainment industry. Where is our lifeline? Has any of you talked to the venues in town? Have you went to Junior League, Women's Club, Masonic, Elks, the Barn? Man, I got a list that goes on and on. Have you talked to the venues? How are they surviving? Have you talked to the DJs, the photographers, the caterers, the event coordinators? Have you talked to the sound and lighting companies and the security companies that 100% our income comes from the event industry, weddings, and live entertainment? I've yet to see anybody ask us, how can we help? I called the health department on Wednesday to discuss this, and before I could even finish asking my question, I was told no social gatherings at all. Not how can we help you or what ideas do you have. No social gatherings. I questioned him about the swap meet that's happening at the fairgrounds. I went by there last weekend. There's 500-600 people easily walking around. I was told that's retail. That's a different set of rules. You see the problem we're having? We need help. We have ideas, and yet nobody will talk to us. The city and county has been great with the restaurants. They have helped them design curbside. They have went as far as letting them sell alcohol to go. We're pouring margaritas in mason jars and glasses of wine in sippy cups. They have redesigned the permitting process a process and have waived the fees. But for the rest of us, they haven't helped us or even reached out and asked us how they can. Our venues can social distance just like the restaurants are doing. We can do it. We have venues that hold 200 to 300 people. We could put 50 or 80 people inside there. We can bring back weddings. We can bring back special events. We're just not being allowed to do that. I'm a member of the American Rental Association. In fact, I'm past president of the California arm of the association. And this is just numbers from my association that deals with rental only. You can only imagine what these numbers would be if we added in all the folks I just talked about in the live entertainment. In 2019, we did $125 million in revenue in the state of California. Our projected rental revenue for 2020 is $36.2 million. And that's assuming that we open up at the end of July, which I think we all know is not going to happen. On average, each member has cut store hours by 32 hours per location per week. And we have laid off 90.4% of our labor force. Our average income in March of this year for my association was down 87%. We were down 89% in April, and we were down 86% in May. And the numbers for June are going to be even worse because now we're figuring in a lot of different events that should have happened. Again, I'm asking, where's our help? Ask us, we can tell you. We're pretty smart people in our industries. We can do it. If you really want to know how COVID is affecting Kern County and the local area, go talk to these people. Talk to the venues. Talk to the sound and lighting companies. Talk to the caterers. Talk to all these people that are still sitting at home. They're still looking out. They're still being told, keep closed, no social distancing or no social events. And then we're lied to and said, we're in this together. Nobody's in there with us. We're fighting on our own. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. And obviously, devastating effects from a very long-term partner of care. So we've delivered the bad news, but I believe that with every deliverance of bad news should come a silver lining. And we do have a silver lining, and I'm going to invite Ralph Frugaletti to share that with you right now, how we plan to move forward, and we are moving forward.
Thanks, Jim. First of all, I think it's really hard to believe that it's been 26 years that we've been working on putting on Village Fest, which is just amazing. And I really appreciate everybody just coming out and giving us an opportunity to get the word out about Village Fest 2020 and CARE and what we're up against this year. I do have some very exciting news to share today. But before I do, I've got a little bit of background. 26 years ago, Rick and I had a vision of creating an event that would help raise money for the kids of Kern County. Our board of directors, executive committee, planning committee, and over 600 volunteers all share this vision to help kids throughout Kern County. We have been blessed with 25 years of a very, very successful event with strong support from our local community. This would have been our 26th Village Fest this year if it actually happened. But due to the pandemic and in the best interest of the health and safety of our community, we unfortunately had to cancel it. So going forward, how do we keep our mission alive without Village Fest 2020? Whoops, I don't need that. There's a few things that I'd like to share that I think are exciting. First, we've set up our websites and everything for people to continue to make donations. So basically, our community can help by making donations on our website, even if it's just $5 a month or that type of thing. It helps the kids of Kern County, and it's going to help continue our vision which we've had for the last 26 years. And but if you are interested and feel led to help with the kids, you can either go to BakersfieldVillageFest.com, or you can go to careforkids.com or .org, excuse me, careforkids.org. So either one of those two, you can make a donation there. And again, we would appreciate that especially this year since we don't have any income from Village Fest for the event. However, over 20 years ago, we started an endowment fund for precisely the situation that we find ourselves. We wanted to create a fund that would reach $1 million. And then when the interest from the investments would allow us to continue our mission of providing for kids if our event did not happen. So as we all know, COVID-19 happened. And this is the first year that we could not raise money through Village Fest. But the exciting news for all of us and the community as a whole is that we as a board voted to match the funds that we donated last year of $86,000 to be given away for our next funding cycle. This way, even though the event did not happen, we are still able to keep our vision alive for 26 years in a row, with a commitment of $86,000 from our investment funds to the children of Kern County this year. I don't know about you, but for all of us that have been involved with CARE, with Village Fest over the past 26 years, this is a really, really special day. And we feel blessed to be a part of such a giving community and for us to give back during this very difficult time. And truly, this is why we do what we do. I would like to again thank our steering committee that works year-round to put together such an amazing event that is still strong after 26 years, and the over 600 volunteers that without them and their commitment, there would be no event. So finally, in conclusion, I'm thrilled to announce that Village Fest 2021 will be back. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Ralph. And I just want to reiterate again, on our websites, careforkids.org and bakersfieldvillagefest.com, you have the opportunity to go and set up a donation from one of your credit cards. You can make it $5 a month, and every month it's like set it and forget it, and you'll be helping the kids of Kern County. And we need your help. They need your help. Any questions from the media? Okay, if there's no
Oh, I've just got one.
Sure.
When was it decided to cancel the 2020 Village Fest?
It was about a month ago.
about a month ago.
We had made the decision actually that that's the direction we were going. Jim brought a number of different things to the board and everything, so that's the direction we were going. And then of course talking to the museum with Mike McCoy and so on, and basically we found out, it really wasn't even a decision that we had to make, just because of the fact that the museum can't operate either until basically the end of the year or sometime.
So our original plan when we had our April board meeting via Zoom for the first time was that we were going to wait until the 4th of July to make a decision, and we were going to see how America behaved on the 4th of July, whether they went out and celebrated at Riverwalk or had large family parties or whatever it is they were going to do, and we were going to take that as a gauge. However, with the climbing number of COVID cases in Kern County continuing to rise every day, it wasn't feasible to wait until the 4th of July. And normally our tickets for the event do go on sale July 1st, so we felt it was important to reveal this information prior to that date. Any other questions? On behalf of the CARE Foundation and all the people behind Village Fest, our sponsors, our vendors, I thank the media for being here today and sharing our story. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.